Hey folks, David Stewart here. Let's talk a little bit about education. We're going to talk about AI, cheating, and homework because this is a hot topic right now. I will provide some really obvious solutions, and in fact, these solutions are not new, and I have talked about them before, not in relation to AI, but other things such as keeping kids safe when using computers, say in a school. A little bit of background for me. I'm a former public school teacher, so I was a credentialed teacher. I also taught at the collegiate level. I've taught private lessons on guitar and things like that. I've been teaching for probably 20 years, maybe even more, and I currently homeschool my kids. I would consider a pretty wide background when it comes to education. Right now, there's a lot of teachers and professors all the way up through the collegiate level that are very concerned about students using AI. Using AI to avoid doing assignments, using AI to do their assignments for them, using AI to cheat in various different ways. And the solution to this is so simple. It is to go the other direction with technology. If you really want to certify what a student knows, you have them write the essay not at home. You have them write it in a blue book in class during the final or during a couple of class sessions where they have to write it in front of you with a pencil. And that's how you grade the essay. Now, this upsets a lot of people. A lot of people, you can start writing comments about how bad it is, that people will get anxious about writing. Sorry, that's just how it is. That's how it is. You're going to have to deal with it. That's the easiest solution. Years ago, I talked about the easiest solution for making sure that kids are safe online, safe when using computers, say in the school, is to have the kid be using a computer in a way that an adult sees the screen. So the solution to how do I make sure my students aren't looking at porn or something on the school computers during computer classes, the teacher's desk needs to be at the back of the class. I remember saying this and people are like, what? It's like, no, you're thinking like a lecture where everybody's attention needs to be on you, the teacher. But if you're trying to instruct them on how to use computers, you need to see their screen so that you know what they're doing and you can remediate them. But also, that's how you ensure that they are staying safe when using their computers, when they're not accessing anything that they're not supposed to, is you can physically see the screen. I have, of course, incorporated this safety measure in my own home. We don't have screens in our children's bedrooms or anything like that. Screens are in public places where everybody can see what you are doing. We don't have privacy when it comes to using screens because that is how you can get yourself into trouble. It's the same thing with AI. If you want to avoid having students use AI to complete an assignment, you just have to have them do the assignment in front of you, write an essay in front of you. On the last live stream, I think it was Hardwick was giving some like ways that you can avoid it. And I think he came up with 5 things. I don't remember what they are, but the big one is you have them write the essay in front of you. You can verbally interrogate them. Like, that's a terrible word, but that's, that's that and a defense. So you basically ask them questions, you quiz them verbally, and they have to give you verbal answers that are correct. And if you do both of these, by the way, that's going to cover most people's comfort zone. It's like, I maybe don't write great sentences, but I can talk about it. It's like, great. You can have your verbal skill there, and maybe your essay is not as strong, and that's okay. You'll have both of those. It's the same thing. Math teachers know this. No calculators allowed. Come in. You have to do the math on the paper, right? We just extend that into other realms such as English. That means you do have to let go of certain things if you're going to do that, especially at the collegiate level. These 10,000 word research papers where they're going and looking up journals and trying to fit them into a thesis and giving citations, that's all very lovely, but you can just assume that any student that's going to do that is going to be using AI to write the essay and is going to be using AI to look up the citations, and the citations may not even be real. And teachers are like, how do we avoid this? We have to come up with tools that'll detect AI. It's like, no, just have them write it in front of you. That does mean that they're going to have to write a 1,000-word essay, a 1,500-word essay during an hour or two of class, rather than this 5,000-word, research paper that you revise and do. You have to let that go, because what you need to be able to do is to know that the student has authentically completed the assignment, has authentically communicated their skills and their knowledge to you. So that might mean breaking those things up into smaller chunks. Yeah, you're going to do 3 1,500-word little essays in 2-hour chunks 3 times a semester, and that's what you're going to do. That's what you're going to get graded on. Teachers, It's such a simple solution, but you're going to see them rebelling against this because teachers love homework. I have talked at length about how much I don't like homework. Homework is something that I don't like for a lot of reasons, and you can check out my videos on why I don't like homework. But the point here is that teachers really like homework. They like homework because homework allows them to give a good grade to students based on the quality of the student's conscientiousness. The student went home and worked hard and did his work. And that's what the grade should be, rather than a certification of skills or knowledge in a specific subject area, which is what a grade really ought to be. Teachers love homework because it allows them to grade on something other than that. The fact is, many students are conscientious and would get something less than an A if they were just taking tests. They'd get a C because their knowledge and skill level is C level, even if they go home and have their parents help them with homework. And we've always known for decades, forever, we've known that parents help their students with homework. So the homework grade is really a parents helped me grade, parents did it for me grade, or parents are involved and attentive in my education enough to make sure that I do the homework and that I do it correctly and that I'm following the instructions. The parents are double checking all of that to make sure the kid gets a good homework grade. So really the homework grade is just an extension of the conscientiousness of the parents as well as the student. And that actually disadvantages a lot of students who maybe don't have parents at home who care about that, right? They don't have parents who make them do homework. And this is especially true, say, at the elementary school level. That student may not be intellectually behind. He may have a good skill level. He may have good knowledge of the subject area. He may test well, but then he ends up with a B or a C because his homework grade is lacking because his parents don't make him do homework. It's very, very common. So I've never been a fan of homework, but with AI, homework is done. You can never trust homework to actually be the student's work ever again because of AI. So when you are presented with that wall, you can no longer have homework except you're giving people grades based on whether they're able to prompt ChatGPT to write an essay or to fill in, to give them a response for them to copy in on their little history questionnaire, to summarize some chapter of some literature book that they don't want to read, all of these sorts of things. You're just going to be giving a grade to AI now. So with that in mind, homework has to go. You're going to have to let homework go, and you're going to have to emphasize things that you do in class where you as the instructor have control over the environment and you can ensure that I'm trying to think of a good word to use here. The results of the learning, right? The evidence of learning is actually evidence of learning. It's actually evidence of what that student has done. So yes, homework is going to have to go. When I was a music instructor, when I taught guitar classes, your grade was a performance exam. You had to do it live. You couldn't give me a cassette of you playing in your bedroom because that could be anyone playing. I need to see you playing your instrument. I need to see you playing the piano. I need to see you playing the guitar to know that you can play it. Now, I tried to do it with like low pressure, but there were always people like, I have anxiety. And probably in today's very sensitive age, if you were to say, well, no, you just have to get over your anxiety and do it, there you'd get sued and you'd have to have some kind of accommodation where they'd be able to sit alone in a computer and prompt ChatGPT in order to get a grade, and you'd be forced to give ChatGPT a grade for that semester. So that might be coming down the pipe as well. You can stop that clown world stuff whenever you want. You just have to have a firm backbone about it, and people just have to be realistic. Hey, if you have an anxiety disorder, you're going to have to figure out how to deal with that because life is going to throw lots of anxious situations at you. And to be honest, a test or filling out an essay in class is relatively low pressure compared to a lot of real things in life. So that's my thought about homework. Homework's done. What could AI actually be used for students? Well, I can think of a lot of things that students could use AI for ethically that would improve learning outcomes. You could use your AI as a study partner. You can ask your AI to interrogate you. Your AI will ask you the questions and give you the interrogatory questions, and you can answer them verbally to the AI to practice for the exam before a real human being. So you can use AI to practice to help you memorize those answers. But when you step in front of that human, even if you've practiced with that AI and you've come up with great answers that the AI thinks are good, and you give those to the professor and the professor, they're good enough for the professor, you've still memorized those facts and you've still thought about how you're going to answer them. Maybe you're not on the synthesis level, but that AI still helped you to memorize the facts for something like a history class or something like that, it could be really, really useful. An AI could, you could practice essay writing, and an AI could give you feedback on your sentence structure and things like that. There's lots of things that AI could do to prepare a student for those actual exams so that they're really well prepared. One of the reasons that I think people are scared of exams, at least in my experience, is that they often feel unprepared for them. They haven't studied, they don't know how to study, they feel uncertain about the material. And so as an instructor, I've always tried to provide ways for students to better learn the material. Here, you're going to take these physical notes, you're going to write them down like this. I'm not going to print out an outline for you. You are going to write them down. And through that process, you're going to better memorize the content of my lectures, things like that. Lots of little techniques that I've picked up over the years, both as a student, as an instructor, to help students to memorize information and begin that more advanced process of synthesizing, combining different elements, putting ideas together to create new ideas in a lot of different ways. So AI can be used very ethically in education and to great effect, in my opinion. But what we don't want is for AI to be doing the student's work. And I'm of the opinion that even if with an AI-assisted future, the point is to certify that the student knows something, not that they know how to ask ChatGPT something, because they'll always figure out how to ask the internet how to do something. We want to know is what they know and what they can synthesize on their own and what they can think of, what they can verbally construct for themselves, and not what an AI can do. So yes, AIs might be used as tools in the future. That doesn't mean that they are appropriate for use in education. Otherwise, you need to be certifying something different. It's not history of ancient Rome. It needs to be prompts of ancient Rome or something, right? You're grading someone on their ability to prompt an AI, which is really ridiculous. So that's my opinion on that. I would love to have your opinions down below about AIs and AI cheating. I think homework is done because of AIs. I think that's a good thing because we can really focus that time that would be spent on homework doing things that better prepare students for exams and help them to learn the material better than doing busy work at home to give themselves a little conscientiousness grade. And I'm for kids having a more childhood time, right? More time to play freely with each other, more time for other kinds of activities, right? Be able to be on the soccer team and not feel completely drained, like you have no time at the end of the week. That I think would be good for students as well. But I would love to have your opinions on it. So leave me those down below, and let's keep it civil. You guys have a great day. Please do keep watch on Amazon. I have new books that will be coming out this year, including King Leopard, that will be up on pre-order. Maybe by the time you're watching this, probably not, but pretty soon we'll have the Amazon pre-order for that book up. So thank you so much. Don't forget to check out my Patreon down below. There's some free content on Patreon, so free subscribers do get a little bit of free content that you won't find elsewhere, and you get a free book every month if you join the Patreon, as well as the copies of the Live Write books, so the books that I've written live. This is, I guess, the last thing I could tag in with AI is this question, like, how do you prove that you didn't use AI to write your book? It's like, well, I wrote it live. I wrote it live on the air. So you can watch me putting the words into Microsoft Word and typing those words and hearing me click and hearing me talk about it, seeing me delete crap, seeing me go back and fix things. You get to watch the whole book being made. So that's how you know that AI didn't do that. And that may be something that we like more going forward, is we like, it has to be more like jazz. Everything has to be more like jazz and less like a pristine studio rock record where you have 50 million tracks overlaid to get everything sounding perfect. No, we want things to be done live. That's how we know how skillful you actually are, is we're seeing you and hearing you do it live in front of us. My music for the last year and a half, almost 2 years now, has been done entirely live. It's all live. And you can find that link down below. No Talkie channel. It's the Zool channel. All that music has been done live. So that may spill over into other things. If we want the human part, we have to want it to be done live. People will tell you there's a different effect between a play and a movie. This is just heightening that difference. The difference between something a human does right in front of you that you know a human's doing in a communicative effort with another person versus something that is put out by a large language model. So anyway, leave me your thoughts down below, and I'll see you all next time.